4x4s are great, and if you don't believe me, check out Tom Drive's channel with his L322 Range Rover and you'll see what I mean. However, what do you do when you've got a sports car that looks like a 4x4? "26 inches. That's insane. It should not be this high. We need to do something about that. There's several ways to do this, ranging from DIY bodging, especially on the front, to like OEM spec. So starting at the very bottom, and something I'd never recommend, is you can cut the coil springs. That would definitely lower the ride height. In my experience, that's not a good thing to do. You'll get it really nice and low, but you can't guarantee it's going to sit same side to side, and obviously the springs are much shorter but the same spring rate, so you end up with a really low car that's really bouncy. It's just not good. The second way is to buy shorter uprated springs. Again, works really well. You can get a ride out of the brand new springs, you know that they're all good, but I did that on another Midget that I used to own, and although it looked amazing, it made the ride really crashy. I personally think this car's got rubber bumper springs on a chrome bumper car, which is why I think it's about 1.5 inches higher than it should be. So the way I've chosen to do it, and like I say, there is several options available, is a lowering kit. Now, I got this one from the MG Midget. I guess there's probably other ones available, and it consists for the front of alloy spacers that go underneath the spring pan. I'll show you more about that later, but basically what it does is lowers the spring pan down, which basically lowers the whole car. So a half inch spacer under the spring pan will probably lower the car by about 1 inch, 1.5 inches. It'll probably make more sense when I show you what I'm doing. It's one way of doing it. I'm not saying it's the best way or the way you should do it, but it's an option. Now for the rear I've chosen to go with alloy lowering blocks. These go between the axle and the spring, effectively moving the axle up so the car will sit lower. These come with longer U-bolts, quite easy to fit. Again, I'll show you how it works. So we're aiming to get the car, I don't want it slammed, it's not that kind of car. I want it 1 inch, 1.5 inches lower than it's currently sitting. Looking a bit sorry for itself, needs a good clean, you know. I was hoping to get this car done before winter hit, but we're now early October and it's not done, so it might end up staying over winter. We'll see how far we get with it today. Mechanically it's pretty much there apart from the gearbox fault, which we'll go into later. Interior needs refitting, but let's get it lowered, see how it looks. I think a lowered car always looks better. Give me a bit of mojo back for this project. So should be a fairly quick, easy one. Let's crack on and do it. So what we need to do, now the car's jacked up and supported on axle stands, is to basically lower this spring pan down. Now we need to get another trolley jack under here and do this very slowly, obviously, because there's quite a lot of tension on the spring. And essentially what you do is you take these 4 bolts, you take them out, and the alloy spacer I showed you earlier on goes between the bottom arm and the spring pan. So it spaces this spring pan down. Now, like I say, you have to be very careful with this. We're going to get a trolley jack in the centre of there, and we're going to do it bit by bit. Should be fairly easy. Bolts look alright. We'll crack the bolts off first, just make sure they're going to come undone okay, and then we'll get it done. Right, we've got the spring pan supported. We've got the bolts cracked off initially, so we'll give it a go. I think we'll come back to you when all these 4 are out. So I've done 2, and I've actually found that the alloy spacer will fit between. So I don't have to take all 4 off, I'm not going to. So, the first one, let's get the first one in. So we've got longer bolts, that goes down through there. Always use new nylocks. Just like that. And just like that, that is one side done. Now, you can't see it very well from there, but you see the alloy spacer between the spring pan. And that should do it. So that's one side done. We'll go on to the other side. I'll not make you watch that actually. I'll do the other side and then we'll get measuring and do the backs. So, about less than an hour's work really, but has it made a difference? I mean, a massive one, no, but we were at 26 inches before and we are now at just under 25, so it's dropped it by 1.25 inches. Now I do expect that that will go down a little bit more as soon as the car's moving. Obviously it's still sitting a little high because it's only just come off the jack, and the driveway is very uneven. So yeah, I think we'll call that a win. It's dropped it just over 1 inch at the front, so that'll do for the front. Now let's get on to the back. "36 minutes from jacking rear car up to lowering rear car down. Impact gun makes it a lot easier, but that just shows you pretty much how easy it is. It's not difficult, especially if you've got the new U-bolts and new nylocks. It's a fairly straightforward job. So yeah, was it worth it? I think so. I think it looks better. It's definitely lowered it down, given it a bit of a better look. Personally, I'd have liked it if the front end had settled a little more, but it is what it is, can't have everything. So next for this car is going to be the interior, and we've got to take the engine out. Now, I mentioned it a little bit in my fleet roundup video that there was a problem. Now the problem is the release bearing with the clutch, but you can't take just the gearbox out on a Midget, you've got to take the engine out. And we've also found quite a nasty noise. Obviously first gear in a Midget is straight cut, but the gearbox is making a lot of noises. So I think we're going to be into a gearbox rebuild. Now, I'm probably going to send this car away for paint before I do that and get the interior fitted. So essentially it'll come back a finished car aside from needing some gearbox work. So that'll be the next thing for it. Interior in, bit of a clean up, down to paint shop. We are getting there with this one. Bit of a slow project, quite a lot more work than we thought it was going to be. Check out some of the previous videos, you'll see what's gone into it. A lot, basically. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video, comment down below what you think of the Midget. Would you have lowered it a different way? Would you have just chopped the springs? And yeah, I'll see you next time.